doing today? I hope you are doing well as we close 2023. I wanted to do this session earlier, but things kept coming up, so I couldn't. But I'm happy to do it today before we jump into the next year. Usually I take a break as the year starts, just for my introspection and stuff like that. So I hope to be able to pass on some valuable insights that help your career, your faith, as we transition into a new year. Because there's usually a lot of hype as we're going into the new year, a lot of goals, a lot of excitement. But without what I've realized that is without systems or without deep introspection about why you are where you are and what you want to achieve, then the goals just become these things that we commit to, but they never really yield any fruit. This session is going to be quick. I wanted it to be quick and powerful. And I believe that if you take hold of the things that I have shared, not only today, but through this year, because I have been really intentional this year about showing practical ways of how we can use our faith and use and develop our careers, because our careers and our faith are intertwined. We're here on earth to achieve a purpose, and God cares about that purpose, and our work really takes most of our time. So if you're not achieving your purpose in your work, and then you can't serve God on the weekends only and everything. So I hope that through these sessions, you not only achieve international career goals and financial goals, but also you get to understand that God has to be central. If God is not central in your life, it becomes really tricky for you to prosper, especially in new grounds, yeah? And so getting into it, how I would like to format this. I shared a post yesterday, I think, or some other day, where I was saying that if you want to get the most out of this life, you should download, what is this? You should download I call it, I'm trying to find the name. It's PPP, Purpose Planning, Purpose Planning book. It's a planning workbook that I love, that I developed, I think, in 2020. It sort of helps you move from just setting resolutions and allows you to now set systems. So you set your goal, like, okay, I want to get an international job in 2024. What does that mean? What kind of changes you need to make in your life? Okay, I need to start applying. I need to start showing up online. I need to be visible. I start doing research. I start doing this. So you're not looking just at your goal and saying, oh, I hope God makes it happen for me. I hope someone remembers me. But you have some sort of system around you achieving your goal. So I will put a link after this. The link, the template is called Purpose Planning Worksheet. And if you use the code MyLane for that, you get a discount. Because it is for sale, it is at a fee. But if you use the code MyLane, you'll be able to get a discount for it. It will help you not only set a goal, but also develop the systems and the reviews that support goals. Because you don't just say, I want to achieve something. How? How is 2024 going to be different from 2023? It won't happen unless you really put thought into it and develop a plan. So I want to share about 5 things that will help you achieve your career goals, right? I care about your career goals because if you're unhappy in your job, it affects every aspect of your life. If you are poor in your job, it affects every aspect of your life. And if you find satisfaction, fulfillment, and meaning in your job, the game changes. And I come from Malawi, and I see a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of talented people who are not paid their wealth. Is it worth? No, their worth. Their worth. A lot of people who are not paid their worth. I see a lot of people who are stuck. I see a lot of people who deserve better, but they're stuck in a story. A story that, oh, this is all you get, oh, do your best. And then there's a world of possibilities outside our borders that we don't explore. And I understand, because I think as a community, we are closed. Yeah, I don't know about other African places, but as a community, we are closed. We like to be where we are, but there are a lot of opportunities that exist to talented people who exist in Malawi and around Africa. And most of these opportunities don't come to us because we are used to a certain way of thinking, used to a certain way of doing things. For example, every time I share an opportunity, people assume that I have the opportunities. Now they just want to send me their CV and then give them the job. You see, that's a mindset we have. And I don't blame you for doing that, because we're used to doing that. We're used to knowing someone who knows someone who gives us a job. Whereas when you're operating in a place where nobody knows you, you have to hold up your head. That's why I say prayer is important for me. I always start with prayer, because when no one knows you, what are you going to do? You're going to give up. You'll be like, oh, no one knows me. I can't do anything. But if you know God, then you'll be like, no one knows me. but I will get this opportunity. I will still make things happen. This is why I insist that prayer has to go before all this. Your faith has to be active in all this. Otherwise, you will believe what everyone else says. You will believe what all the negative things that go around, and you will be shaken when challenges come, and they will come because there is no easy thing. Because sometimes I share about these opportunities and people say, "Oh no, um, it's not as easy as you're making it sound." No, it's not supposed to be easy. Nothing is easy. Even living a good life in your own country is not easy. So I hope that I'm talking to people who are just tired of where they are. They know there's more, there's better, and they're ready to make the changes. Even if you are in a good job and you're thinking, I need growth, I need challenge, I need a better life for myself, my children, or whoever, then that means it's going to stretch you. You're going to have challenges. So number one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do is to be intentionally visible. Intentionally visible. That's just something we have to get used to. I know sometimes it feels humble. We say, no, I'm introverted. It has nothing to do with your personality. It has nothing to do with humility. Being visible is just you making yourself known to the right people. Because if they don't know you, how are they going to support you? Even when God elevated, who was elevated? Let's say, I was going to say Esther. She had to look a certain way to be elevated, to be queen. So even in the Bible, God would pull people out of their little spaces and say, come up here. Let me show you something. You need to be visible to the right people. God wants you to make an impact in your space. You can't do that whilst hiding. So it is really important that you understand the power of visibility. And if you are a career person, I would say be present on LinkedIn. You don't have to be there liking everything and sharing your life story. No, but just highlight your achievements. Sell yourself, just your job, So for your own good, be visible. If you have conferences, be visible there. And visibility is not just standing there, it's also speaking up. Have the confidence to speak up, to share your opinions. Even if you don't have a new opinion, agree with somebody's opinion. And that means in the background, you'll be doing work on yourself. In the background, you'll be reading something. In the background, you'll be educating yourself. Even if it is just reading the Bible, that is really powerful. It changes you. And it allows you to have the confidence to enter into places and say, I have an opinion. Because some of us have believed a certain story. I'm shy, I don't speak in public, I don't do this. And so when it comes to sharing about you on social media or on LinkedIn, you sort of shy back or pull back. You miss out on opportunities because nobody's going to hunt you down like that. Yeah, so you need to stand out, you need to be visible. And this also means that you stop and say, what am I good at as a person? What is lacking in my job, in the work I do? So if you need to get more skills, if you need to get more education, more training, it can be on and offline, just even informal training. If you need to do that, that speaks even louder. That allows you to have a platform for you to be visible about. So you have an opinion about things that matter in your field. You have thoughts about things that matter in your field. So number one is for you, make it your goal for 2024 that you will be visible. You'll be visible to the right people. That means you will do research and understand which organizations you're interested in, and you'll position yourself correctly to be visible to the right people there. Number two, I want you to do research on what you're looking for in, let's say, job titles and career progression. What is your next goal? What is that thing that will happen next year that will blow your mind? If it is relocating and finding an international job, do research on what are the titles. That helps in a big way because in countries where the economy is small, let's say like Malawi, it is easy for you to just say, I want to be an accountant. But in bigger economies, accountant looks like so many different things. You might not even want to be an accountant anymore. You might just find that you're using your accounting experience for something different. So do some research around job titles that could apply to you. Don't be blank about that. Nobody's going to look at your CV and your skills and your interests and say, I think this will match you. No, it is you who sits down and say, these are aspects of my job that I'm good at and I enjoy. Where can I find roles like that? And how you do that is basic Google. Yeah, so you start with accounting, jobs an accountant can do, jobs a nurse can do other than nursing, and then you start seeing things. And when you start seeing things, follow them through and say, oh, this I like, or this I don't like. And you'll find that it will direct you to the right place. It always is true what the word of God says. Those who seek, find. Those who knock, a door opens. And so we have to take these initiatives. Instead of just saying, oh no, I don't know what else to do. No, I've applied to jobs. No, try to say, what other jobs can I apply to? What are the titles in the spectrum of my interest? And attached to that is you identifying the companies you want to work for, right? If you're looking for an international job, there are so many companies. And there are many companies that sponsor. And if you're just shooting like machine gun effort. Like, I'll just apply to everything. You just get exhausted, disappointed, and frustrated. So you really have to be clear about which companies you find attractive. And as you look into those companies, you'll find that even online, the algorithm on different sites will start to show you similar companies. Yeah, so if you are looking at financial institutions, you might know just 2 financial institutions, but if you start going to their websites and looking for jobs, you start seeing other financial institutions come up on your feed, right? So use your social media, LinkedIn correctly, use Indeed, Glassdoor, which other one do I like? Monster. Those are platforms where there are so many jobs loaded. Yeah. And just because you found one, nobody responded, doesn't mean that's it. Perfect. Go back to that titles thing. Perfect the job description. See which one works for you. See which companies. Like, I remember when I moved to the UK, what I had said was I want to work in either real estate companies or financial institutions. I love those things. I love those spaces. And those are the things that started coming up to me because I kept looking at job descriptions for financial something, and they'll just show me different Goldman Sachs, this, that. And they'll show me Barclays, they'll show me HSBC, they'll show me so many because there's so many opportunities, so many options. When one says no and you're clear about what you want, you know who to go to. And as you get deeper and specific about what you're looking for like that, you'll be surprised what things will be attracted to you, and then you'll be like, oh, I didn't know there were so many options like this. So be specific on the titles and be specific on the companies you want to work for. And then after you are specific like that, you go to your CV. Probably if you have only worked in Malawi or Africa, your CV might not be as good. Not good in the sense that it's whatever, but in the sense that it doesn't appeal to the right people. So what you want to do is to make sure that your CV is speaking to the jobs that you're looking at. Remember, we talked about titles, we talked about companies. There's a language that you'll see on the job descriptions these companies put. You want to speak that language. You don't want to just say, okay, this CV, I don't know, I hope they see it. No. Keep your CV clean and simple. If you have pictures on it, remove them. Colors on it, remove. Keep it simple. You want your name there. You want your experience. Yeah? Well, that's something I had noticed here, in the UK, is that all the fluff we put on my CV, my previous CV, there was a lot of information, unnecessary information at the start. Nobody cares about that. Okay, so keep it simple. You start with your name highlighted, then you come to your work experience, then you come to your education, then transferable skills. You can move these things around, but keep it simple. There was one time actually they told me they don't need references put on my CV. They'll ask for that later. I was like, oh, okay, but I still put them there anyway because I'm just used. But you keep it simple like that. Your name, work experience, and your school experience, education experience. And then you put skills and anything else that you want to highlight, like leadership roles and everything. What is important on your CV, though, is to understand the language. So if you have done work that is similar to, let's say, a company, you're looking at working for Google, and then you see that, oh, they're speaking about analytics, they're speaking about leading a team, they're speaking about coming up with ideas, brainstorming. Yeah, those are just random things. So you notice, oh, it's brainstorming. There are words like productivity, there are words like leadership, there are words like analytical, there are words like timeliness, there are words like AI, whatever your field has keywords, right? When you notice these keywords, embed them in your CV. When you're explaining, you're not just taking like I used to do that in the past where I would just take my previous job description or my current job description and just paste it on my CV. That is useless. Why are you doing yourself a disservice? Yeah, don't do that. You want to tailor your words, like even 5 points only or less on your current job is enough, right? Just make sure you're relating what you're doing or what you have done with what they're looking for. You don't have to copy or paste, but if you see that they have some similarities in the analytics, they're looking for a person with analytics, you say, I analyze this. They're looking for a person who has led a team. I led a team. A person who has worked in ambiguity. I worked in ambiguity in a different scenario. Like you're using the words that matter to them, a language that they understand. It's simple. If I come to you speaking a strange language, you would just look at me and say, I think she's speaking great things, but I don't know what she's saying. You won't pay attention. So it's the same thing with CVs. It's the same thing with jobs. Around the world, if you speak a language, I know this about IT people, they know these IT languages. If you just mention a few things, they know, yes, So this is how you're able to attract attention from a person who doesn't know you. You're able to move their interest. They don't know you, but they can understand what you're saying. So make sure your CV doesn't have things put there just for the sake of putting them there. Put things that are speaking to the CVs that you have seen, the job descriptions you have seen, and even you get more points if you're putting things that are aligned to the values of the company you've seen. So you have done your research, you know that you want to work for tech companies. What languages are they using? Like the company that you really like, what are they saying? They're talking, oh, we like togetherness, oh, we like working remotely. And then you embed that in your CV. Your CV is powerful. It speaks for you when you can't speak for yourself. So you want to put your heart into it. And this is why before you go into your CV and making adjustment to it, you are already looking into the companies you want to work for and the titles that they offer. And then you also see the vacancies they have that are similar to what you're looking for. And then your CV will be matched up to that. Attached to your CV is your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile is essential, and your LinkedIn profile is not your CV. So you want to keep it concise, but you want to sell yourself still. So because LinkedIn is a social media platform, people's interest is not as big as it is when a person is looking at your CV. So when a person is looking at your CV, they have your CV or they have seen it and they're interested in your CV. But LinkedIn is where people come to browse. So you want to grab people's attention. When they're browsing, you have used concise and direct messaging in the language that matters. It starts with the picture you have put. It starts with the headliner you put. I see people put like their degrees. I have a BA, CC, BMC, whatever. You're putting all that. That doesn't matter to a recruiter. What matters is what do you do? So make sure your headliner is highlighting your field. You can say chartered accountant, looking to develop systems in financial system, looking to develop transparency in financial organizations. So looking to go global by transforming, like you're just putting a statement that describes what you do, so that when a person looks at your name, looks at your face, they think, oh, okay, that's the face, but then they can see the headliner and understand what you're about. Your LinkedIn should sell you. Don't be lazy about your LinkedIn. And for your CV and LinkedIn, if you're interested in having me help you, I do CV and LinkedIn audits. I'll put a link after this. You can work with me. I can work on your CV and LinkedIn. I don't do your CV and LinkedIn for you, but I do an audit. Then I give you suggestions on the changes you must make in alignment with the goals that you have. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'll put a link later. But I only open up a few slots because my schedule doesn't allow me to do so many of them. So if you're interested in that, get on that soon, okay? I'll put the link after. Then the next thing you do, now you have your CV, you start distributing. Now this is where you apply. Your CV is on point, your LinkedIn page is on point. Then you start to apply. Please don't apply and ghost people. I mean like a ghost. Applying as a ghost is when you just throw the CV and cross your fingers. I hope somebody sees it. Yeah. So this is where LinkedIn comes in handy as well. You apply for a job, and then you look at, okay, I'm applying to Google. Oh, this is like the product manager role. The role is product manager. Who am I reporting to in this role? Then you go on the Google LinkedIn and you see product manager has a head of products. You're like, oh, that's probably the person who will be reporting in this. Or you find a recruiter in that space. Then you write to them, I'm interested in this role. I have applied. We would like to have a chat around this. Yeah. So that is something that was new to me because I was used to applying and just apply and forget. But there is power in networking. People tend to work with people they like, and social media tends to show us with people we like and people we don't like. You see? So when you apply for a job, I'm thinking of sharing like a little template of these kind of quick, short introductions you can share. Because people write me on LinkedIn and sometimes they write me and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to respond to this person because there's no etiquette, there is no heart, there's no excellence in their writing. It just puts a person off. And this is me. I don't recruit people and they're writing to me and I'm feeling those kind of things. Imagine a recruiter who is seeing so many other people talk to them. Yeah. So we have to, when you apply for a role, make an effort to find somebody in the organization, a recruiter or somebody in the department in the organization. It is weird because I have never done it, not in Malawi, but people expect it in other countries. Yeah. Like in different organizations in the UK, you get paid for referring a right person. So if you are a good candidate for whatever role and there are vacancies in my organization and I refer you to them and you turn out to be a great fit, I would get paid for it. That is kind of cool. So different organizations have those kind of things. So don't be shy about writing a short thing and saying, hi, I've seen roles in your finance department. Are you able to refer me? Do you have that kind of program in your organization? Would you like to talk? Just a short chat to walk me through it. I've seen your career looks good. Give compliments to people. Search them out. Sometimes people are coming to your inbox. They don't know anything about you. They're speaking crazy things. You don't even understand. What are you saying? So you want to be like, okay, I've seen that you're a chef. Oh, hi, I see that you're a chef. I'm interested in chefing in whatever country. Would you like to talk? I've seen your food. That sounds amazing. I saw you shared this post that was really impactful for me. Can I take a few minutes just to ask you a few questions? Is that something you're open to? Yeah, that is the networking. I know we're used to certain type of networking. At least that's what I was used for, where I would just give people my what do you call that, business card, and move away. But no, you make some effort to talk to people. And if they don't want to, you lose nothing. Okay? So that is what you do. You don't apply as a ghost. You apply, and then follow up. Follow up with people. Even sometimes before you apply, you say, oh, I see you're working for Unilever. I'm interested in programs there. Would you mind referring me or letting me know anything? Speak like that to people. But it's important, though, that you just don't jump into people's inboxes and just speak like that. You find something, like I've said again, I'm highlighting this again, please. Find a common interest. Go through their web pages. Even sometimes before you go into the inbox, comment on a few of their things and the things they're interested in. If they're in your field, there can be some things you can find as a commonality. And then you step on that, then go into the inbox and to say, I've seen you do this. I'm interested in working for Google as well. Would you mind sharing some pointers? Would you mind referring me? You'll be surprised what will come out to people who ask, So don't be afraid to ask. And my last tip is always to pray. It's always to pray, because in the end, it's you. In the end, it's you who has to arise and do the work. In the end, it's you who have to have the conviction and say, okay, I am committed to this and I'm going to do it. Because so many people desire things that they are not willing to do the work for. So you desire to have an international career. You desire to lose weight. All these are good desires. You desire to get a promotion. You desire whatever. But are you willing to do the work? Yeah. So sometimes it's not that you just don't want to do the work. Sometimes you're afraid. Sometimes you don't know where to start. Sometimes it's intimidating. Sometimes you don't have the capability. Whatever it is, that's where prayer comes in. When you pray, you're partnering with God. God partners with you. When you pray, you're moving beyond the natural to the supernatural. There are fears you bring to God in prayer that begin to dwindle because you're spending time with God. I say that because that has been my experience. I will tell you, I was super intimidated when I moved to a different country, to a different economy. I didn't know what to start. I didn't know anyone. But when I prayed, when I fasted, when I was before the Lord, He started to change my heart. He started to speak to me. And I started connecting to people who just liked me for no reason. People who wanted to help me for no reason. And sometimes you're in an interview and you're wondering, oh my goodness, I'm sweating so hard. It's hot out here. I'm in my house. I wasn't seeing myself, and then I'm seeing myself on video, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm dripping sweat. Anywho, but sometimes you meet somebody, and you meet somebody, and they like you, and they're like, I want to work with you, and you have no understanding. You're like, how? Sometimes they're like, oh, you're so brilliant, and you're like, where? It's the favor of God. So most of us, when we have no prayer lives, there's no consistent prayer life. There's no consistent fear of God. There's no consistent time with God. You come into a place, you're exposed. You can just be scattered all over the place. You have no foundation. Your God should be your foundation. All this process I'm sharing, this is not rocket science. You probably knew all these things before, or you could read about them. But the reason other people don't do them, the reason that other people can do them and others cannot, then is because of that prayer thing that can only come from God. Okay? So pray. I'll also invite you to a fasting and prayer time that I'm having with I'm trying to reconnect. I think my internet is back. My internet was acting up, so it's getting off. Okay. So I will share some links later. My friends and I do a 21-day prayer and fasting at the start of a year. It is essential that we do these things because it takes all these burdens out. What do I mean burdens? The burden of not knowing what to do, where to start. The prayer helps with that. And then you move with conviction. You'll be surprised the things you'll be able to achieve with God working beside you. Yeah, so for me, the fear left, the intimidation left, I had pride also to a certain level. Like, that kind of pride that is like, I can't do that, I can't, whatever. Unnecessary pride, that keeps you poor. I say that sometimes we have pride and it just keeps you poor. Yeah, it just keeps you stranded. I had that unnecessary pride and that went as well with prayer. Sorry, I look like I'm doing something else. I'm just trying to set up my technology so that I don't flip out. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. And I'm seeing Rachel say, let's talk about how to use the planner, especially the on the week page. I have a video on that, so I'll respond to that and link the video where I shared how to use the planner, because I don't have the planner on me right now, but I did come up with a planner that helps you organize your days so that you can achieve the things that God has designed for you to achieve in life. Because it's easy to just desire things, like I said. You desire them, but there's nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. And you wonder, oh, why don't I see the results that I want? You don't have a system. Yeah. Every day of your life has to be leading you, and it is leading you somewhere. And if you're not leading it towards the things that you want, you're going elsewhere. You see? So if you say, for example, I want an international job, but every day you are too busy for it. You are busy with good things. Sometimes it's not even terrible things that are distracting you. Busy with good things, but you're busy with good things that are not leading you to the goal that you want. Then we'll be surprised when the goal doesn't happen, and you're like, oh, goals don't work. What do we call this? We call resolutions don't work. No, resolutions work. It's just that you didn't have a system for making it work. So a simple thing like every week on a Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the evening, I will do research on this international job thing I'm looking for. That will go a long way. If you do that every Tuesday, or let's say every Friday, whatever time. And for me, another powerful thing is to say every lunch hour. I used to do that in my work, at work. And it changed the game for me in a big way, because I felt alone at work in a different country. I felt alone. I felt like I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a strategy there. So what I had decided to do was, I'm not going to eat my lunch and everything. I'm just going to go on a fast most of my days. And during my lunch hour, I was going to go pray. So what I was going to do is, every lunch hour I was going to the prayer room. Praise God, my workplace has a prayer room. I would go there and pray. It seemed like I was just doing that. But the things that started to happen to me, to my faith, to my confidence, to my clarity, to the connections, the people I started to meet, was powerful. So if you're doing that, let's say every day, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, it would do something amazing, right? So I really want you to succeed. And when I look at international roles around the world, I know that there are many Malawians who shouldn't be where they are. There are many Malawians who are limited just by what they have heard or what seems impossible, but they could thrive elsewhere. They could be not thriving, like, not only thriving like in low roles, not like manual work, thriving, leading departments, leading companies, leading institutions, and you know how sometimes in our countries when someone goes to work, let's say for the UN or in the US, and they come back to their country, and then we are like, oh, this person, like part of their CV, we boost it up, like they worked in the UN for 10 years, they worked in the... And we celebrate that. But how many people are willing to do that? Not many. It's powerful to go outside and experience a new thing and come back if you want to. It's intimidating. It's not easy, but it is a powerful experience. And it will change you as a person, but it will also change those 70 people who rely on you to pay, who are looking up to you for fees, who are looking up to you for lots of things, like they're looking up to uncle, auntie, help us, that kind of thing. There are lots of people who are looking up to you in one way or the other. So if you succeed, then there's so many other people who succeed. And we already know, like I graduated 14 years ago. Goodness me. I graduated 14 years ago, but all those 14 years, there have been graduates, more universities. Who is employing those people? Yes, others are going to be entrepreneurs, but not everyone is going to be an entrepreneur, because that's a different, challenging journey of its own, So other people need to gain experience. Other people want to just take care of their families. Other people want to grow. And the world offers that. Yet we stay in our corners. We refuse to plan. We refuse to learn. We refuse to get organized, and we complain. So it's high time we stop doing that. It's high time we manned up and said, our faith is not just for praying and crying to God. Our faith is for making things happen. Our faith is for changing our nations, for changing our families. Our faith is for results. When Jesus comes and he says, you saw me in prison and you didn't feed me, you'll be like, Lord, I had nothing. I was busy complaining about fuel. I was busy complaining, struggling. No, you should be able to say, Lord, you gave me 5,000 kwacha. I doubled it. You see? You gave me this, I doubled it, because I looked at options and said, okay, at this moment, let me change my plan. Let me shift. Let me boldly pursue a different thing, right? So that's all from me. I wish you an amazing year. Let me see, anyone else is saying something. I will share the templates. I mentioned a couple of templates. I will share that soon after this live. And I do personal coaching, but my time is so limited. I can only do like 2 people at a time, or even that becomes a lot. So I will also share that, but it's really limited, you know. So, but I do CV audits. That's a little more flexible because it doesn't take too much of customized time one-on-one. But for personal coaching, we go but one-on-one a lot. But I'll share links to that, and we can talk offline for that. Ken is saying, have you written a book already? You know what it takes to write a book. Anywho, I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate your time, and I wish you success in the next year. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll share links to the fasting, because your girl believes you have to pray. Some of you, God is not giving you the next level thing because you have not shown that you hear him. You see, you have not shown that you're serious with your character. You still lie. You still are corrupt. You still sleep around. You're still promiscuous. And God is like, I can't pour too much in this vessel. It's a dirty vessel. So I'll invite you to the prayer and fasting, definitely. And then I will send the templates for planning the year, communication channels to speak with you. Okay, I am available on, what is this platform we're talking on? This is YouTube and Facebook. You can DM me on either one. I'm also on Instagram, and I'll put my email. Yeah, the email is faster as well. Yeah, so I'll just share a lot of details after. Okay, I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, do DM me, and I wish you an amazing new year. Bye.